No one believed the dog. Not his grief-stricken fiancée, not the uniformed officers, not even the doctor who signed the death certificate. Everyone thought Rex, the decorated K-9 officer, was just mourning his fallen partner. But if they knew what Rex sensed, if they had trusted his instincts just minutes earlier, the truth inside that coffin would have stopped their hearts. Because as the German shepherd barked, clawed, and threw his entire body against the casket, something impossible was happening beneath the polished wood. Something that would transform a funeral into a frantic rescue and turn absolute certainty into a miracle no one saw coming. This was the day a K-9 officer refused to let his partner be buried alive. Welcome to Mr. Bryan's Tale, where every story takes you on an unforgettable journey. Whether it's thrilling adventures, heartwarming moments, or tales that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this is your destination for captivating storytelling. If you love getting lost in exciting narratives and discovering new worlds with every video, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the next amazing tale. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Nathan Blackwood lay in his dress blues, metals gleaming against white satin. Claire stood beside the casket, her engagement ring catching the soft light as her fingers traced the polished wood. Uniformed officers lined the walls, faces etched with loss. Dr. Adrian Wells stood near the back, confident in the death certificate he'd signed the night before. No pulse, no breath, cold skin, everything pointed to death. But Rex knew better. The German shepherd sat rigid at the coffin's foot, muscles coiled, eyes locked on Nathan's still face. When the chaplain began speaking, Rex did something unthinkable. He barked, sharp, commanding, urgent. The sound shattered the reverent silence like glass. Claire reached for him, whispering comfort, but Rex lunged forward, paws slamming onto the coffin's edge. He barked directly at Nathan, again and again, each sound more desperate than the last. Officers exchanged troubled glances. Rex was trained perfection. He never broke protocol. Something was terribly wrong. Emotional beat. Somber grief shattered by impossible tension. Rex's bark wasn't grief. It was the same alert he'd given 100 times before. Danger! Claire tried pulling Rex back, but the dog planted himself like stone. His barking changed, sharper, more frantic, echoing off the chapel walls. Mourners shifted uncomfortably. Some whispered prayers. Others looked away, unable to watch the dog's distress. Luke Moreno, the paramedic who'd been first on scene at Nathan's accident, stepped forward carefully. "Ma'am, perhaps we should calm him. I can sedate." "No." Claire's voice cracked. "He's never acted like this. Never." Rex's behavior intensified. He scratched at the coffin, whining between barks, his whole body trembling with urgency. Dr. Wells approached, speaking in measured tones about how animals process grief differently, how they sometimes refuse to accept death. But an older K-9 handler in the crowd murmured something that made hearts skip. "That's not mourning. That's his alert. He's detected something." The room went cold. Emotional beat, confusion and growing unease. Then Rex did something that made everyone's breath catch. He went completely still. Without warning, Rex stopped barking. The sudden silence felt heavier than his cries. He pressed his entire body against the coffin, ear flat to the wood, breathing shallow. His tail straight, eyes wide, completely focused. Claire recognized the posture instantly. She'd seen it dozens of times during Nathan's K-9 demonstrations. Rex was in detection mode, searching for something no human could sense. "Did you see that?" someone whispered. His chest moved. Dr. Wells stepped closer, frowning. "Impossible." I examined him thoroughly. But doubt crept into the room like winter air. Rex began scratching at the lid, paws scraping wood, drawing blood. The desperation in his movements made several people step back. Claire's hand trembled as she reached toward Nathan's chest, hovering just above the fabric. When her palm made contact, she froze. Warmth. Faint, but there. "He's not cold," she breathed. Emotional beat, rising tension and first seeds of doubt. Claire's hand trembled as she reached toward Nathan's chest. Dr. Wells pushed forward, professional mask cracking. Its residual heat. Bodies retain warmth for his color. Luke interrupted, kneeling beside the coffin. Look at his lips. They're not blue anymore. The room erupted in murmurs. Half the mourners leaned in, desperate to see. The other half backed away, frightened of false hope. Claire pressed her palm firmer against Nathan's chest, tears streaming down her face. Was that movement? The tiniest rise and fall? "Someone check his pulse," an officer shouted. Dr. Wells reached for Nathan's wrist, fingers pressing the radial artery. Nothing. But when Luke moved to check the carotid artery in Nathan's neck, his face went white as bone. Rex released a howl, long, mournful, desperate. It wasn't grief. It was a plea. Luke's voice shook. "I feel something. It's faint, barely there, but—" He looked up, eyes wide with impossible hope. There's a pulse. Emotional beat. Hope and fear colliding. Luke's fingers pressed against Nathan's carotid artery. His face went white. "I feel something." Chaos exploded. People rushed forward while others stumbled back. Dr. Wells shoved through the crowd, hand shaking as he grabbed a stethoscope. He pressed it to Nathan's chest and listened. 10 seconds. 20. His face transformed from skepticism to horror. Heartbeat. Slow but present. He checked Nathan's pupils with a penlight. They contracted. Barely, but unmistakably. Oh my God. Cataleptic state. It mimics death so perfectly. Cold skin, no detectable pulse, shallow breathing. I've only read about it. He's alive. Claire's scream cut through everything. Rex barked triumphantly, jumping into the coffin, licking Nathan's face. Luke was already on his radio. "Dispatch! We need advanced life support at St. Michael's Chapel. Now! Patient in critical cataleptic state, possible oxygen deprivation." Dr. Wells stared at his own hands, the hands that signed the death certificate. If we'd buried him. No one finished the sentence. They didn't have to. Emotional beat. Climax, shock, revelation. Frantic hope. Every second Nathan spent in that coffin brought him closer to real death. Paramedics crashed through the chapel doors with a gurney and equipment. They lifted Nathan carefully, his body cold, unresponsive, but alive. Barely. Luke barked orders. Oxygen mask, warming blankets, for access. Every second mattered. Rex refused to leave, staying pressed against the gurney as they moved. Claire ran alongside, gripping Nathan's icy hand, whispering prayers she'd forgotten she knew. The ambulance tore through streets, sirens wailing. Inside, Luke worked frantically to stabilize vitals that barely registered. How long was he in that state? Luke asked Dr. Wells, who'd insisted on riding along. At least 18 hours. Maybe more. Jesus. His organs. I know. Claire watched Nathan's face, searching for any sign of consciousness. Rex licked Nathan's cheek continuously, whining softly. The hospital loomed ahead. They radioed ahead. Patient nearly buried alive. Critical condition, cataleptic state. When they burst through ER doors, the entire trauma team was waiting. Emotional beat. Desperate, frantic urgency. The ER doors slammed shut, separating Claire and Rex from Nathan. The trauma room swallowed Nathan whole. Doctors, nurses, machines creating a wall between him and everyone who loved him. The doors shut with terrible finality. Claire stood frozen in the hallway. Rex pressed against her legs. The German shepherd sat directly in front of the ER entrance, absolutely still. A sentinel. Nurses passing by paused, moved by the dog's unwavering focus. One brought water. Rex didn't drink. He just watched the door. Hours crawled by. Officers from the funeral arrived, forming a quiet support around Claire. She couldn't sit, couldn't eat, couldn't think beyond that door. Luke emerged once to update them. Nathan was alive but critical. Brain activity uncertain. Organ function compromised. Dr. Wells sat in a corner, head in his hands. "I declared him dead," he whispered. "I almost, if that dog hadn't—" Finally, after what felt like years, the trauma room door opened. The lead doctor stepped out, exhausted, and everyone held their breath. Emotional beat, agonizing suspense and guilt. He's alive. Vitals are stabilizing. Another 10 minutes, and he would have been gone. The doctor's words hit like lightning. He's alive. Vitals are stabilizing. The cataleptic state combined with severe hypothermia created a death-like presentation. If you proceeded with burial, he didn't finish. Didn't need to. Claire collapsed against the wall, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. Officers embraced, some openly weeping. Dr. Wells sat motionless, grateful and devastated. They were allowed into the recovery room in small groups. Nathan lay connected to machines, chest rising and falling with mechanical assistance. But the monitors showed life, real measurable life. Rex was brought in. He went straight to Nathan's side, placing his head gently on Nathan's chest, listening to the heartbeat he'd known was there all along. Then something miraculous happened. Nathan's fingers twitched. His hand moved slowly until it rested on Rex's head. His eyes fluttered open, unfocused, confused, but aware. "Rex!" The word came out barely audible, but it shattered everyone present. Rex whined softly, tail wagging. Claire leaned in, kissing Nathan's forehead. "You're alive. You're really alive." Emotional beat. Relief, gratitude, overwhelming joy. In the days that followed, Nathan's recovery became the talk of the entire department. Nathan's recovery was slow, but steady. Doctors called it miraculous. Most patients in cataleptic states for that long suffered permanent brain damage. Nathan defied the odds. Rex never left his hospital room, sleeping beside the bed, waking whenever Nathan stirred. The police department held a ceremony honoring Rex with the Medal of Valor, the first time a K-9 received the decoration. Nathan, still weak, placed a medal around his partner's neck himself. News stations covered the story. K-9 officer saves handler from being buried alive. Claire watched them together. Understanding their bond went deeper than training or duty. It was love in its purest form. When Nathan finally came home, Rex walked beside him, patient and protective. Nathan knelt carefully, wrapping his arms around the German shepherd. "You saved me, partner. When everyone else gave up, you didn't." Rex licked his face, tail wagging. Partners. Forever. Emotional beat. Inspirational, heartwarming resolution. AK-9 officers save a partner's life simply because loyalty knows no limits. Nathan and Rex's story reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who never speak a word. Rex didn't need a medical degree to know his partner was alive. He just needed love, loyalty, and the courage to never give up. This incredible miracle raises some powerful questions. Have you ever witnessed a moment when a pet knew something humans couldn't see? Has your dog ever alerted you to danger or sensed something wrong before you did? And here's the big one. Do you believe animals have a sixth sense that connects them to us in ways science can't fully explain? Drop your answers in the comments below. I read every single one, and your stories inspire the tales I share here on Mr. Brian's Tale. If this story moved you, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these incredible animal miracles. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another heartwarming tale of loyalty, courage, and the unbreakable bonds between humans and animals. Remember, sometimes the truth doesn't come from those who speak the loudest, but from those who love the deepest. Until next time, this is Mr. Brian's Tale, reminding you that miracles happen when we refuse to give up on those we love.